Yo, what's up? In the last video I've been using Schwab Digital Gold Clip, and this is one of the best clipping plugins that's out there. It's not a cheap plugin. This plugin costs $249, or you can rent to own for $25 per month. What you then get is one of the absolute best possible digital clipping plugins ever made. We're going to use it on a mix here and see if we can push it up to about -2 RMS, which is super loud, without distortion that feels negative. Of course, you're gonna distort with clipping because we're shaving everything off, but Gold Clip does it in a way that is very good. Let's quickly go over the plugin. I'm not going to go super in depth, but in depth enough so you will understand how the plugin works. First of all, bypass, then box tone. This plugin is modeled after the Lavery Gold. If you have a flat box tone, that means the box tone is off, then it doesn't replicate the AD tone. If you do a classic way, then it's shaving off some of the highs, and with modern it's shaving off some of the highs and altering some of the upper mids. So yeah, it's how much of that tone you want. In my own experience, I always have this on flat. I love it there. Then the clipper, there's classic, modern, hard, and if you hold command you can switch off the clipper. Next to that there is a low cut here. So the clipper got a couple of different settings. Modern is soft knee clipping, then hard is hard knee clipping, classic is medium knee clipping. Also, when you want super heavy amounts of clipping, you can switch on the low cut so it doesn't distort so much the low frequencies. I love using it on hard. I think it sounds the absolute most crisp, and yeah, it just delivers extremely good results when clipping and mastering. The clipper operates the clipping inside of Gold Clip. However, there's Gold and Alchemy as well. Gold is adjustable here. You got modern and classic. What is Gold? Gold is enabling you to bring up low-level information. Now we've got modern and classic. Modern means that more of the information is being increased, and towards the clipping point it dips off to 0 dB increase at the maximum. However, on classic, this decrease in level that's being brought up by Gold is starting earlier, so it's less aggressive. You know that I am all about dance music and EDM, so typically you want to go with modern and hard clip mode. So now that we are understanding that, it's important to point out the unity knob. Unity means gain match. So if we bring up Gold with unity activated, we're not fooling ourselves and the signal won't get louder in perceived loudness. So it's a super good way of setting it up, and the manual suggests to use it, set it up, and then switch it off so you have the benefit of the gain that's being added to the signal. Then clipping, super easy. However, if you open it, this link button is activated, which simply links the input with the output, so that if you push into clipping, the output gets lowered, which is great if you use it on a bus and you don't want to necessarily alter the entire level, but you want to clip some peaks and have a tighter RMS going into the master chain. However, in this case we're using it for mastering. This example is extremely exciting because I'm only going to use Gold Clip to bring the track up to commercial loudness. -2 RMS, that's super loud. Usually, that's not something you can achieve without audible distortion. Of course, when using analog gear, it's a whole different story. I can easily get to -2 without notable distortion, but Now we're assuming that you only have plugins. Then Gold Clip is one of the absolute best plugins you can have. Okay, let's continue the explanation of the plugin. Alchemy is extremely subtle, but alchemy means that it's softening the upper mids and high frequencies that are almost reaching the clipping point. If you don't understand that, it's basically softening the distortion caused by this plugin. So if you bring it up, it's going to sound less aggressive in the upper mids and high end. Then you can use this plugin in parallel. Normally you see like a wet dry knob. This is a wet dry fader, which is exactly the same thing, but yeah, it looks different. So if you use it like this, then you could basically see this as a dry wet fader. That's really cool that it's in there. But then my favorite button is this little triangle, which is Delta. Delta, yeah, I've talked about it before. Delta is a way to hear exactly what the clipper is doing. So that's my easy to understand explanation of Swape Digital Gold Clip. What an amazing plugin. Is incredible. It's such a good clipper that I definitely understand why it's $249, and I highly advise you to download the demo and test it for yourself. Now let's go into the fun part where I'll be only using one plugin, the Gold Clip, to bring up the mix that we have here of Sam Collins Take Note pulse to -2, -3 RMS. We're gonna try to squeeze as much of power out of this mix with only the Gold Clip. I'm going to first use the Gold to bring up low level information with Unity on, then I'm switching off Unity so we benefit from the gain. I'm going to clip a little bit, and I have the in and output unlinked, so yeah, it's staying at 0, as this will be our last plugin in this chain. Let's start. I'm using Delta as well, and yeah, let's go into using Gold Clip for extreme loudness right now. It's super interesting to hear what it's actually doing. If you set Gold to 0, here, have a listen. That's exactly what it's doing with the clipper. Here, see how loud this track can get only with the clipping active. That's already at -4 RMS, and I'm clipping 1.6 dB. Yeah, we can push it way further and get it to -2 easily. But let's try and blend in a little bit of more gold so that it's actually retaining a lot of that detail. That's already at -3. Wow. Such an impressive plugin. I mean, I know how to get loud masters, and I have some of the absolute best analog gear. For example, this limiter that's about $10,000, which sounds insane and can get you extremely loud tracks. But this plugin is only $249. So yeah, for a plugin it's a lot, but believe me, this thing sounds a whole lot more expensive than $249. Let's go a little bit further and try to get that -3 to -2. So we are clipping 2.2 decibels. We are adding 1.2 dBs with gold. We're in hard clipper mode at the modern gold mode. And this track hits at -2 RMS. Yes, it sounds a little bit pushed, but not like a limiter can sound, where it's bumping and where you feel that the dynamics are a bit all over the place. This thing retains a solidity that you want, a heaviness, a punch that a track like this really needs to retain. And yeah, that matches with the ID after the plugin, because this gold clip plugin is mimicked after clipping a Lavery gold converter. And I'm clipping my Prism sound every day on so many tracks. It's sounding extremely good. And I need to say, this clipping plugin sounds a little bit like that. I'm still preferring analog clipping because there's no limit really. Of course, when you go way too hard, yes, you do hear it, but it's so easy to go a little bit louder than most commercial tracks and still sound extremely good. And with a plugin like this, I feel that you need to be a little bit more careful. I did many masters where I tried the gold clip, and I ended up using it only a little bit, or even not using it at all, because it was just too noticeable. But in the right track and in the right situation, especially if you don't have analog clipping compatibility like the Better Maker limiter or like the Ham Audio LAL limiter or a very professional expensive mastering converter that you can clip, it's a no-brainer. Definitely get gold clip over at Swape Digital, because this thing can make your mixes super loud.